Hi everyone, we had been gone for a while but now we're back and we're going to consistently post over the next few weeks. So as for today's video, what happens when you take a Honda Jazz and shrink it by all its dimensions, except its engine, if that makes sense. Anyways, this is what you get. It's a 2017 Honda Brio, and let's start off the review by talking about the rear of the car because that is arguably where the least amount of changes have taken place compared to the first generation. So just like in the first generation, you get a one-piece glass tailgate and a rear spoiler, which you get just for the higher variants, which houses the brake lights. And the tail lights have been protruded a little bit outwards, which was not there in the first generation. To be honest, that's about the rear. Nothing more has changed. Coming over to the side of the car, it's a very, very familiar figure with the body color door handles. And one thing that they have changed visibly, which is good, is the annoying, ugly indicators on the side. Now they have included it with the mirror caps, which is great. It looks very sleek now. Another great change that Honda has made are the wheels. They have finally given the Honda Brio some good alloys, because the first generation had ugly looking hubs and yeah, they were seriously bad looking. I'm so happy that this one has alloys. So you get 175/65 R14s all around the car. You also get the same disc brakes in the front and drums in the back. Now coming over to the front of the car, this is where a lot of juicy changes have been made according to me, because you get the all new one-piece black grille, which is flatter and I think sharper than the previous chrome grille. This looks so much more sportier and meaner compared to the previous one. You also get a great aggressive looking bumper, and yeah, that's about the design of the car. To be honest, I think that the first generation Brio looked like an ugly mouse, but this one looks like a cute mouse. I don't know what I'm saying. Now coming over to the interior of the Honda Brio, I must say that I have an ample amount of headroom, legroom and kneeroom is good too. Now coming to the general layout of the dash, I really like it because it's simple and sleek. Despite having some fake carbon fiber and some scratchy plastic around it, it has an analog instrument cluster plus a multifunctional steering wheel. Now I'd like to review the infotainment system if it had one. This is more of a radio. So yeah, there's nothing much to say about it. Now coming to the climate controls, I'm so happy they kept physical buttons because in my opinion, they're so much easier to use than digital ones. And you have good bolstering and under-thigh support for the seats, as I said before. Now coming to the practicality in the front, you have a decent sized glove box, which is, to be honest, deeper than I thought. Then I have a 1 liter bottle over here and I'm going to try to fit it in each and every cup holder that the car has. So first, door bins. Yeah, no, it doesn't fit in the door bins. What about here, the cup holders? Yes, it does fit in the cup holders and one here in the rear too. So ironically, a 1 liter water bottle does not fit in the door bins but fits everywhere else. Now coming to the rear seats of the Brio, I must say that ingress and egress is not that easy because of the protruding wheel arch over here. But once you're inside, I am truly astonished by the amount of space that the Brio has, considering that it's a pretty small car, at least from the outside. I have a great amount of headroom, good amount of knee room and decent legroom and good under-thigh support too. You can also carry 3 people at a time, although the person in the middle does not get a headrest, but the hump is pretty low. So yes, you can carry 3 people at the same time, but the third person in the middle has to be a minor, preferably. Then you have grab handles and a common reading light for both the front and the rear passengers. And as for the practicality in the back, you have decently sized pouches behind the drivers and the companion seats. And you also have power windows. Now speaking of windows, the windows in the rear do not roll down completely. I know it's a safety feature, but considering how small they already are, I would have liked them to roll down completely. The seating position itself is not too upright, it has a good angle to it. Now coming to the general ride quality of the car, I have to say that it is better by a mile in terms of suspension, because the ride is so smooth on the Brio. For those of you who care about it, it has McPherson struts at the front and torsion beam at the back. For those of you who don't care about it, however, it is so much better than the i10 ride quality wise. It's so much soft over bumps. It's crazy. The difference is crazy. You should drive it to experience it. And it's a very spacious rear and front, so I'm pretty impressed by the interior of the Honda Brio considering how small it looks from the outside. Now let's get on to the boot of the car. Now coming over to the boot of the Honda Brio, I must say that the load lip is way too high to load things easily. There's also a parcel tray which can be removed for extra storage. The seats can also be folded down, but nonetheless what you get here is 175 liters of boot space, and that is one place where the Brio majorly loses to one of its key competitors, the Hyundai i10. For instance, the i10 has 260 liters of boot space. That's almost 100-liter capacity difference. Now coming to the heart of the beast, the 1.2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder iVTEC engine, Honda's iconic iVTEC engine, and this engine is largely similar to what you get on the Honda Jazz, and this engine is either mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox or a 5-speed torque converter, which is kind of interesting because Honda usually uses CVTs and this is a torque converter model, so the shifts are so much more zippier and it feels more lively compared to a CVT gearbox. Now coming to the interesting part, the numbers. So this produces 87 horsepower and 109 Newton meters of torque, which is a fair amount of power and torque, but as you know, Honda engines can be tuned, so extracting more power is surely possible. Now let's have a quick chat with this Brio's owner, Miss Priya. What do you think about the Honda Brio?
I have been using this car for quite some time. It gives a good mileage and fuel efficiency. As it is a compact car, the parking is not much of a problem.
Thank you so much, Miss Priya. And now it's time to get on with the final verdict of the car. Now, time for the final verdict of the car. So it definitely loses out in terms of boot space badly to its rivals because of its 175-liter boot space, and it's also a little bit too pricey for what it offers. However, it does make up for those negative points as it has great resale value, and due to its low center of gravity and the fact that it weighs less than 1 ton, around 970 kilos, it makes it so nimble, agile, and so much more fun to drive than its competitors. The two paired with the powerful iVTEC engine and torque converter, it's a real blast to drive. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel because why not? Thank you all so much for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.